Hi everyone, welcome back to my craft room. If you're new to my craft room, then welcome. Today I just have a fun little easy project to do. It's kind of what I'm in the mood for, fun, easy peasy little project to do. But I thought we could have some fun with these, what are they calling these? Tumbling tower game. I have so many of these, I keep picking them up because, there's just so much you can do with these things. But I thought it would be a lot of fun to make some pumpkins out of these. And I think this would be a great little project for, the kids or, even like in like a nursing home or something like that. This would just be a fun little project for anybody. And it doesn't have to be that kind of thing either. I mean, just at home, have fun with the kids or just have fun by yourself like I'm doing. But I'll show you here what I made out of these. First, I made this little guy here. I thought this would be a fun one, and I used some of this paper here. This is actually from Hobby Lobby. I picked this up a while. I've had this probably a couple years now, but you can find all kinds of pretty papers at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. And then I did this one here. I just used some paint and little decorations on the top, and these are those little wood pieces from Dollar Tree. I have a million of those things laying around too. And then this one here, this came out of a paper pack. I'm not sure where this came from, but like I said, you can find pretty papers, or you don't have to use paper at all, you can just paint. And then I used a little distressing ink on the side here. I'll show you all that here once we get going. But you can make these any size you want to. This one's a much bigger one than these little guys here. And like for these little guys here, I just added a couple, extra ones to the rows when I did them. And this one came out a little bit bigger than this one. And then I have another one back here drying. It's really big. But that one actually took like a box, and maybe, I think it was 19 out of another box. So that other pumpkin I did took a lot. But all three of these little pumpkins here was from one box, and I actually had one little block left over. And you see how nice and neat these are packed in here? You would think these were all like exactly the same size, but they're not. You would think, but they're close enough that it works okay. So let's get these out of here because we're going to use all of these, and I'll show you just how easy this is to do. It's just so much fun. So let's just get them all out of here. Come on. There we go. So we're just going to push them all up there out of the way. All right. Now, we're going to start out with this bigger one because I want to get this one going here so it can dry. Now, for the center one, you're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 sets of 5, because we're going to glue 2 sets together to make this taller. So you're going to take 3, 4, 5 of these, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And then I used this super glue wood glue. This is from Dollar Tree too. This is usually down in the hardware department. For some reason, I usually find it where they have like the automotive stuff. I don't know why. But it's not in the crafting section. It's actually down in the back of Dollar Tree in the hardware section. And this stuff is great, and it dries really, really fast, so you can work with this stuff like within a few minutes. I mean, you got to really wait for it to dry for a while, but for it to be good and strong, but you can work on it pretty good. So what I do is I go along and I just kind of glue one side here on 4 of these, like so, and then we are just going to take all of these and push them together, all 5, and then just try to get them nice and even as you can. Just hold it there for a second. That looks pretty good right there. Look at that. And then we're just going to slide that set up there. Like I said, this is so easy. So we're going to take our next set of 5 and just run a little bead. You don't need a lot of this glue. This stuff sticks like crazy. So we're just going to stick a bead of that down on 4 of them. Like so. And then we're just going to stick those 5 together. And that is one side of our pumpkin, or the center part of our tall pumpkin here. And then we are going to do 2 sets of 4, and that will be this next section here. So we need 4 here and 4 here, so I'm just going to glue down 3 sides of this one. So that'll be for the front side, and then we're going to have to do another set for the back side. because these little guys are all going to get glued together to make this tall guy. Now the little guys are really easy to make. Really, 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 really easy. All right, now once these dry pretty good, we're going to glue these two together, you know, right along the... get in there, you're not too even. Get any of the excess glue off of there. And then I just kind of push these together to make sure they're going to fit nice. But like I said, these are definitely not cut exactly the same because that one doesn't want to go, but we'll make it go. It'll work. You'll see. All right. See, and this one looks like it's a little thicker than that one. They're kind of a pain. All right, and I'm using this, actually I forgot to tell you that, I'm gluing these down on this flexible cutting mat. You get a set of 2 of these down where they have the kitchen gadgets and stuff. So you get a set of 2 of those, and these work good because this glue will not really stick to it. So that works out good. So there's one side, so that's gonna go on one side here, and then we need another set to go on the other side, another set of 4s. Like I said, these are so easy to make, so we're going to stick that up here. And just let these guys dry. And by the time I get all these other ones glued together, we can go ahead and glue all these pieces together, because this stuff, like I said, it dries so quickly. There we go. So easy peasy. Now these 2 are much easier to make because, you know, they're just 1 tier. They're not 2. All right, so then we have that, and then we need another set of 3s, because that's what I have on the front here. There's 3. So we're gonna need 3, 3, 3, and 3, 3, 3. There. And we have all of those. So we'll get all these glued together, and then we can move on to the next one. Oh no, why did I put glue? I didn't need glue on that side. Whoops. That's okay. All right, so we have that 3. We just need to put glue on 2 sides of these. So all of these little guys here are what's going to make this pumpkin here. So I need one more set, double set of 3s, 2, and while I got the glue in my hand, I may as well do, oops, don't need that much. 1, 2, all right. I'll put it right here. All right, so all that there is going to make this guy here. And now for the next one, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. But this one's only going to be 1 tier. So we're going to need 2, 3, 4, 5 for the center. Now we'll see if I can keep all this straight in my head once I get all these glued here on the table. So we're going to glue 4 sides. Here, so that's the center of this one here. I'm gonna put him down here, see if we can keep this all straight. I don't know, because I don't usually do them all at the same time, but I figured it'd be easier just to get all these glued together. And then we're gonna do 2 sets of 4. Because we're gonna put 1 on each side of that. Okay, we're going to set that there to dry. Maybe I keep these all in a line here. I'll remember what I'm doing. And here's our other set for the other side. I figure I'd get these all done at the same time. That way this glue can all dry at the same time. All right, and then we just need 2 sets of 3. And just glue on 2 sides. Oh, that one's All right. See, I'm already getting confused. Nope, we gotta keep this one down here. Oh, I told you I'm gonna get this all messed up. We'll be okay. All right. And now, let's see if I can move some of these. I can probably slide some of these guys over now to get them loose. There we go. And then these go with this big one up here. See what I mean? You can actually move this stuff already, even like right after you glue it together, because that's the super glue part of it. All right. So to get all that, yes, that is, this row here is this pumpkin, all of this is this pumpkin, and now we just have this little guy here where we started with just 4 in the center. So we're going to glue 3 sides here. Here's our center. Set that down here. And then we're going to need 2 sets of 3. Going to glue 2 sides of that. Whatever. Put that one on this one because I glued the wrong side again. There we go. So 2 sets of 3. Just want to make sure they're nice and even because otherwise they won't stand up very nice. And then we need 2 sets of 2. And that's all 3 of those pumpkins. And again, I had 1 left over. All right, so I just need to do 1. Well, I can just do 2 of these. There we go. And then we have our, and all of these right here are this little pumpkin. And that's it. That's all of these from 1 box. Just so easy peasy. Now what we're going to do is we're going to glue these all together because this is our nice big tall pumpkin back here. So we're going to put some glue up here. Put that together. Like I said, it's not going to be perfectly even because these blocks are definitely not all cut perfectly. And then we're going to put a line down here and glue this 2 big sets of pieces together. That's our centerpiece. Come on now. There we go. And just let them sit for a few minutes to dry. There we go. That looks better. And then we need to glue this set together. And I'm telling you, by the time I get this glued, we're going to be able to work with that second pumpkin that we glued. Because, it's, like I said, it really needs more time before it's really glued, but you can work with this stuff like you're seeing here, just like in a matter of a few minutes. So we're going to glue all our sets here that we did at the top for this big pumpkin. And we're going to let this all dry nice before we do any more. And there we go. That's all, oops, there we go. There's all our pieces for the big pumpkin glued together. And I'm telling you, this stuff is already set really good. All right, now here is our other one. The second one we did. Now I wouldn't want to pull on this too much, but like you can see, you can actually just start to work with this. So that's what we're gonna do. So for this one here, I'm not gonna glue these together yet because I added this paper before I glued it together, which was much easier to do. So actually I think we might be able to do this. I already have them cut out. All you have to do is, like when you get these glued together, just put it on a piece of paper, and I traced around it, but I already traced around the other one, and then just cut that out to fit. And then for these side pieces here, I just used one of these as a guide to cut those out. And you're going to need 8 pieces, 8 small pieces like this here. I already cut these cut out to save a little bit of time. So we're already going here pretty good. All right, so for this guy here, I just did the edges. You don't even need to do both sides because you're not going to see them. So let's see how this is going together. This goes here. All right, so we need a piece on here. I think this piece is the only one that gets it on both sides. Yes, the very center piece gets it on both sides. All right, so I am going to actually use some of this Beacon 3-in-1 glue. I love this stuff. You can use any kind of glue, it doesn't matter, but I just happen to really like this stuff. So we're gonna start gluing these papers on here. And I like to take a little stiff brush to just kind of push this glue around. So we're gonna put one of these papers on each side that we cut out to the size of the block. Just get your edges real good. And I got way more glue than I needed to glue down this little piece of paper. Here we go. And then you're just gonna take your little leaf and paper or whatever paper you wanna put on here. Maybe you can find some cute little pumpkin paper. So I'm gonna put one on there, and then one over here on this side. There we go. It doesn't have to be perfect on the inside, but just you want to make it nice and even on this outside, which I did not do on this side, but we'll cut that off. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side for the middle piece only. Because the other ones, when you glue them on, that one side's going to be glued down. Come on, glue, come back out. All right, let me lay this down instead of standing it up. A little bit more. There we go. Get off your hair, glue. There we go. That's good. Glue this one here. And like I said, I'm not doing what I told you to do. Make sure it's even with the edge. You don't need to worry about the inside. All right, so that is the centerpiece of this pumpkin here. Now for the rest of these, you just need to put these on one side because this whole piece is going to get glued right down on here, so you won't see it on the other side. So we are just going to put some glue on here. I'm making a mess. There we go. Ugh. You know when you got shaky hands, things just don't work out the way you want them to sometimes. All right, but we're doing pretty good, I think, today. So I figured I'd get this done today. Well, it was a decent day. So we don't need to put, like I said, not on that side. So now we're going to get this one on here. And this one on here. And then these, we're just, like I said, just cut it out to the size of those blocks. And this only goes on one side too, so this glue is really, really thick for some reason. Alright, so let's spread that out good. I might have too much. We're going to wipe that brush off a little bit. Alright, so this will be the front and the back of the medium-sized pumpkin. Now this one I actually painted orange. This one I'm not painting orange. But if you're going to paint this, you want to paint the orange part first before you put your paper on. Otherwise, it's really hard to do. So, you know, if you want to do it, you know, in orange. This one I'm going to leave in a natural color and just use some of my distressing ink on it. I thought that would be cool for some, trying to make these all different. But yeah, if you want to do it, you know, with a color, then definitely paint your blocks, you know, your sides. You don't need to paint the whole thing. Just paint your sides and your top and stuff first before you put your paper on. Because, you know, that's why I didn't do it with this one, because I forgot to tell you that I'm doing these all different. A little bit different, not completely, but just different colors and things like that. All right, so now we have all of that on here. And now this one I'm going to just paint. I haven't made up my mind what color I'm painting all of these. I think I want this big one. I have this one in this, let me move this up here. The sheepskin, the home decor, folk art home decor, chalk paint sheepskin, my favorite color to use on things. That I did with sheepskin. The stems, I actually gave them a coat of this real brown paint because they're kind of white. I'll show you the sticks here in the bag in a minute. And then this little orange guy, this paint came from Michael's, the Craft Smart Burnt Orange. Love, love, love this paint. So, yeah, that's what I forgot to mention. Now this one we're going to glue together because we're going to paint this after. It's going to be kind of like this. But I think this little guy, I may paint this cream color this time. We'll see. All right, so now to get this guy together, whoops, my thing is leaking all over the place. Let me get a rag here. My little baby wipes. These suckers come in handy for everything. Get them from Dollar Tree too. All right, let me set that glue aside for a minute. All right, now this one here, we're just going to take some of the wood glue and just put this baby together. We're just going to glue together these pieces here. Just get it even as you can. I don't measure. If you want to get precise, you can measure them. But I like to stand it up after I get them together just to make sure I have it in the right place and they're nice and even to stand up. And then we're just going to put some glue on this one here. Just get it, you can, you know, get it in the middle crease there is where your center is. So it's kind of easy to tell. And then we're going to take our set, whoops, we're not going to take our set of two because I just threw them on the floor. We'll take this set of two and get this one in the center here best you can. I think that looks good. And then we're just going to lay that over like so. And there we go. Gotchas. Oh, you guys didn't glue together very evenly, did you? That's my fault. What if I get you apart? Yes, I can. All right, I got to re-glue these because they were definitely not even. You guys probably saw that. All right, but we're just going to go ahead and put these on and get this all done. That's better. And we're just going to put these right in here, like so. That looks pretty even, I believe. We'll just stand it up and make sure it wasn't. All right, so now we are just going to let this dry really good. So we'll set him right, actually we'll set him up here, because now we're going to put this one together here that we put our papers on. And like I said, you don't need any papers on this side because this is getting glued to this guy. And again, just kind of go by your center one. So there's 5 here, so you just use your center one there as your guide to try to get it as even as you can. All right, I think that looks pretty good. And then we'll take this one here. We'll go over here. Yeah, we're getting the shaky hands. It's that time of day, guys. I tell you, it's only certain times of day with this medication. And this is it. This is usually it. Right now, it is like, I'm doing this like a day ahead because I have to get this stuff all dry. But it's actually like almost 10 minutes to 2 in the afternoon. And this is usually, once I get this done, it will be nap time for me because, I'll tell you what. All right, anyway, we're going to take our piece with the, it's all completely covered here for the front. Measure it with your center, which would be in between those two. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. Look at that. That's going to look great. I'm just, like I said, I'm just going to use some of that distressing ink on this one. I might even distress it up here on the top. And let's see, let's get this on here. And there is our middle-sized pumpkin. Why does this thing look so dark? I don't know. I can't even see in this thing here right now. All right. So those two are all glued together. Now this one I'm going to be painting, what did I say I decided? This sheepskin color when that dries. All right, so let's get this baby glued together. I think it should be, so like I said, it is good. It is like English. It's good enough to work with now, just from sitting here these few minutes. Hopefully that's straight enough. Like I said, these things, none of them are cut out exactly the same. But let's see, what am I doing with this big one? The big one I'm painting orange, so we can just go ahead and glue these pieces together. And this is our 2 sets of 4. We're gluing on our 2 sets of 6. And just put that right in the center. There we go. Maybe over a little bit more. There. That looks better. All right. Take our other 2 sets of 4. And I always put glue on the side that was laying down because that seems to be the most even. Now, center that one with our middle one of the 5. All right. And then we're almost done here getting these glued together. And then the fun part is just painting and decorating, which I am going to do off camera. I will paint these because you guys all know how to paint. I'm just going to take these Dollar Tree brushes and one of these guys here. And we are just going to just paint these up. So after I get them all painted, then we'll come back and decorate because this video is getting really, really long. Something I thought that was going to be a quick and easy DIY is turning out to be a very long video. But you guys know how to fast forward if you need to. All right. I just don't like to leave anybody behind, beginners or anybody that's just starting to craft. I just want to make sure I take my time so you guys all can do these easy peasy. All right. So that is this big one here, as you can see. So we're just going to let all of these dry really good now. And then after this dries a little bit more, I'm going to paint this one. Here we go again. This one I'm painting this color. This one here is going to be orange. And then our little one was just going to be with, our medium one is going to be with the distressing ink. Just for something different. Because I put a little distressing ink on all of these, and I'll show you that too when we come back. So let me get them all painted so we're ready to decorate. These are the stems, by the way. I have a million of these stems from Dollar Tree because they came out with all different sizes, all different. They have these tall ones, they have these fat ones, and yeah, I just take these because they're very light. They're like a birch, I believe, and so I just take a little bit of that brown paint and just go over it just so it's not so white. So that's all I did for those, pretty much. That's it. I don't know what I did with my stem for the big one. Oh, I put it on there. All right, let me get these painted. Let it get them dry so we can come back and decorate. All right, guys. I finished these 2 up. I figured I'm just going to finish these up because I'm going to show you on this one how I decorate them, and I do them all pretty much exactly the same. So I figure there's no sense in making you watch me do all of these. So I distressed these a little bit. This is the one with the plain wood. I just used some of the Tim Holtz Vintage Photo, my favorite ink to distress with, and one of these little finger sponges. I'm going to show you on this one how I did it. And I just did the top, so it's more like a, I don't know, worn out stain on the side. I don't know, when I think fall, things need to be distressed. The leaves get distressed, the grass, everything's kind of distressed, so that's why we're distressing these. And I did the same thing on this white one here, just the corners. And then I added these little decorations up here and this stem, and I'm going to show you how I did that. A little bit different for this one because on these I just used the wood glue, but on this one I'm going to add a little hot glue too, just so I can keep working on this thing here. So here is my other little wood piece I took out, and I put just one coat of the real brown paint on it because, you know, it was just that real light color piece of wood. So I'm going to add some of the wood glue on here, and then I'm going to put a dot of the hot glue in the center just so we can start decorating this thing and I don't have to wait for it to dry. But make sure it's got a good hold. I'm going to use the wood glue, and we're just going to add some hot glue here, like I said, just so we can work, and then just kind of try to find the center here. I think that looks good. There we go. So there's our stem, and I already put the paper on because you guys, I showed you how to do all that paper, so I figured I'll just glue this on here, just measured it to the size and used that leaf paper and glued it on. And then I just take my distressing ink, which I love this stuff. I use it on all kinds of projects. Little finger sponge. I think these came from Temu. I don't know. I know Dollar Tree has these finger sponges now too, after I went and ordered some. It figures, right? And I just went down the sides on these, and I gave it a good amount here because it really makes these dimensions really stand out. And then I just kind of did the edges on this paper because this paper is already kind of distressed looking, so it didn't need much done to it, just a little in the corners like so, and then just down these sides. And I did both sides on these. Sometimes I cheap out and I don't do the backs if I'm going to have it like on one of my shelves, but I don't know where I'm putting these exactly, so I figured I'm going to make these look nice all the way around. You could use these on a tiered tray or whatever. These little ones would be cute at Thanksgiving. You put by people's place settings or whatever. How cute would that be? And they can take them home and decorate for the rest of fall, but pretty much after Thanksgiving, that's it. You're decorating for Christmas, if you're anything like me. And if you watch my daughter's channel, you know that she is crazy for decorating for Christmas. So, but that used to be the thing when I was a kid. It was like as soon as Thanksgiving dinner was over and it got dark, that's when you turned on your outside Christmas lights. We always had our big tree in the front yard with the lights already on it ahead of time, and then after dinner on Thanksgiving, you just flick them on, and it is now the holiday season. But that was always our thing. Alright, so that looks pretty good. Oh, I didn't do the corners on this one. Easy peasy. And you can go through it a little bit. That's what I did on those. I just kind of went like this, just to distress it a little bit, the paper, because it was very, very white. But, man, yeah, and that's just how that looks. And that just brings out those corners and stuff. It looks really pretty. Okay, so how I pretty much decorated all these little guys was I just took a bunch of this moss from Dollar Tree. It's just the regular moss that they have there. Definitely don't need as much as I just pulled out. But I get a nice big thick piece of it. And then I just go around and I put some, whoops, something stuck to my glue gun. Everything's stuck to my glue gun apparently right now. See if I can get that off of there. There we go. I just put a nice amount hot glue about halfway around, like so, and then take a big thick piece of this moss so you don't burn your fingers, and then just push that down, and whatever comes off, comes off. You can worry about that later. And then same thing here on the other side, just halfway around, nice thick bead of hot glue. Grab a nice thick hunk of this moss here, and then just push that down, and that way you don't burn your fingers because you got a nice thick piece of moss in between. And then you can trim that off, or how much, I don't know, I think that looks pretty good with a lot of that hanging off of there too. But we'll see what doesn't want to stick after that glue dries. But pretty much most of it is. Alright, so that is what I did around all of these. I'm going to do the same thing on my other big one back here. I'm going to decorate that one exactly the same, maybe just with, I think I'm going to put some of these minimums on that real big one I have back here. But then I just took some of these berries. This was off of a leaf branch, and I just popped off all the berries. Dollar Tree has lots of different stems with berries and things. I'm going to see I think I'm going to have to do these separately. I'm just going to cut them all off and then glue them on here because this one's a little bit bigger. Now this one I did put a piece of a flower, so I may do that for this one too. And I guess if you really wanted to turn these around, you kind of want to put something on the back too, but I didn't. But you can. Like I said, the sky's the limit, however you want to decorate these. Alright, so I'm going to add a few of these berries, and then I'm going to add a leaf, because you got to have a leaf coming off your stem. And all I did for that was I took one of these, they had these pumpkin picks, pumpkin fillers they're called, and I just took one of their leaves off and trimmed it down. Actually, I'm going to need another leaf for that other one, so I may as well just grab two while I have it out here. And I love these little pumpkins to DIY with too. They're really cute. But whatever kind of leaf you have, you can make it into like a pumpkin looking leaf. And I just took it off and I just kind of rounded the bottom off. And just kind of angled it up a little bit and rounded it off again. Just make it look more pumpkin-y leaf than, let's see if that's, well, I think that needs to be a little bit smaller. That's better. And then we're just going to glue that right there on the front. And then I need something to poke that with. Give me this popsicle stick. Hold that down there a second, and then I'm going to fill it in with some more of these berries. Like I said, whatever you want to do. Oops, I need some more hot glue. Whoops, I need running out. There we go. Put these down here to cover up where that, leaf was joined in. Well, I had these extra get off of there. Extra berries here. Maybe I'll just stick that over there. I'm not going to waste this little batch of berries. So we're going to stick it right on there. Why not? The more the merrier. There we go. And there you have your berries and your leaf. I think that's so pretty. And I think over here what I did with that one is I took one of these mini moms here and I just took some of the layers off because you can see they're in, I don't know, when you pull them apart you'll see they're in different layers. So I just took the center one just so it wouldn't be too much on this little tiny pumpkin, and then just glued it at the bottom and stick that right in there like so, and hold it together until that glue dries, otherwise your flower is going to fall apart crazy. But yeah, you can take them apart and just use part of those flowers. Didn't want it to be too overwhelming because it would have been a little bit too big for this size pumpkin. And that is how I decorated this guy. And that is how pretty much I did them all. I mean, like I said, use your imagination. I just kind of used whatever was closest to me here because that's just the way things have been working for me lately. It's just easier. Well, you know, anything you got. If you want to add some different colored leaves on there, cut down some maple leaves or some bigger berries, whatever. But I want to show you this big one here and how I put that one together. And I'm going to decorate that one off camera because, like I said, I'm doing all these the same except for this big pumpkin here. I am going to, let me grab this guy. Here he is. This is the big mama. This one's the one that took a box and I think 18 out of another box. So this guy's real tall. He has 3 layers of 6 in the center that I glued together. And then I did 3 layers of 5. And then 3 layers of 4 and 3 layers of 3. You know how we glued them all together like that on the other ones. And you can make these as big as you want. You could just go crazy with these. And they're just so much fun to make. And how easy was that to make? You just glue them all together and, you know, it took like no time. So yeah, And this one too, I just did the distressing on. Oh, I still need to do this side. I didn't do it. I did the distressing on the other side because I think I was going to show you guys this. But you know what? You really don't need to see all of this repeated over and over. These, I just like to darken up this white paper a little bit. Not too much. But just to give it that, I don't know, more vintage look to the paper. Oh, I did do that side. Well, that's good. And like I said, I'll decorate this off camera. I will just take pictures of this at the end of all these little guys setting up together. I'm so excited for these. I think these are going to look so cute sitting around in different ways. And yeah, so that is it. That is how we made all of these chooty patooty little pumpkins. And we got all these here to decorate with. And there you go. So I will set these up nice, take a nice picture of these, and I will put it at the end of this video just so there's not so much going on in the background so you can really get a look at it. But thanks so much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this project, and I will see you guys all next time. Have a great day, everyone.